So I guess I'm just gonna do any percent today, which is fine by me. Doesn't. I was gonna do any percent anyways. I just wanted to have some randomizer stuff streamed for YouTube mostly, but it's whatever. Anyways. First time catching the live stream, been watching the YouTube VODs? Yo, thank you, Big J. Big JT, actually. Looking extra cute today, I know. Yeah, this is my true form. Yeah, no webcam today, because I'm fucking ugly sick. I also have a fair bit of brain fog, so don't be surprised if I, like, forget a lot of shit. It's not like I chose to be sick. It's not like I'm like, you know what, let me go lick all the door handles and shit like that everywhere that I go. Who did your fan art? Oh, I'll have you know that it was it's actually me. I know, I'm so artistically talented. This is what TV looks like with no makeup on. Yeah. Happens all the time, yeah. What am I doing? Fuck. Damn it. I did say any percent, yeah. Let me actually practice the mist can pass stuff, too. Because this is honestly the hardest part. That right there is the hardest part of the entire trick. Yep. Getting cock blocked by this gate. Too late. Cool. Feel pretty good about the wolf clip, honestly. It's likely not going to give me very many problems. What am I comparing against right now? Fucking barely sub 20? What am I, bad? Ew, 1948? Is that my average? That can't be right. Damn, that's my average. What the fuck? I'm bad. Dude, my summer best is almost 1626. Uh-oh. That was like a really jank backup. Kinda like it though. It wasn't too bad. I don't know if it's slow or not. Like, I was wondering why your face don't move. Nice. Yo, dude. Let's go, Scav. Can't afford to get me to 69. It's all good, too. I appreciate the support nonetheless. I mean, everybody's been extremely supportive of the streams and just, like, SotN in general. So, it's just been nice to be able to stream and have, like, I don't know, general positive vibes. That's what I'm looking for. Plus the 69 meme is always good. Always a good time. I'm gonna try my best ASD to get better soon. At least video games, you can still play them while you're sick, so you can still grind out these world records. Yeah, I think that movement should be free now. Like, I shouldn't be having any problems during that section. Also, what's up, Cheeky? How you doing, bud? Yeah, a couple days ago, like about a week ago, we were at 69, which was really hype. So at the very least, even if we don't get there again, I can say that I had 69 subscribers at one point, so... Dude, my brain is definitely not at 100% capacity. That's for sure. There we go. Dude, I need to play through Earthbound one of these days. I'm just an impatient little baby when it comes to RPGs. Like, I'm sure it's a game that I would like if I gave it a chance. It's just so hard for me to give it a chance. Yeah, I've seen little bits and pieces of the speedrun, and from my understanding, like the manipulation and stuff in that game seems pretty hard.
I'm interested in this. I'm interested in
I'm still kind of shit at that menu right now. Because I keep trying to buy library cards when in this run you don't buy library cards at all. Yeah, I'm gonna keep practicing this menu a little bit and try and get it at least a little faster, because this split is so hard to like save time on right now. I think a big part of it is because my PB, I was better at mashing for this menu, and I was just better at the menu in general. Because this menuing section, you can like save multiple seconds on if you do it as fast as possible. Especially this mashing part. Like, I think on average... Ugh, bad menu. Yeah, so I rewatched my any percent world record, and I realized that the commentary for the run was like kind of really cringy, honestly. I don't know what the fuck was going on in my life back then, but I don't really like it. It's like kind of embarrassing, and it has a lot of views right now. Like, it's my most watched video on my YouTube, so I prefer to just not erase it because it's important for like SotN history or whatever, but I kind of want to just get a better run, so that isn't what I'm remembered for any percent at least.
I'm interested in.
And also the run can very easily be improved, so that in and of itself is a good enough reason. The 200.6 isn't my most viewed anymore. For whatever reason, there was a big influx of people watching my any percent run. And honestly, I think that's always going to be the case, because if anybody's looking up any percent speedrun for SotN world record, like, my video is going to pop up. If they look at it from the speedrun.com page, my video is going to pop up. So I think the analytics show that like 40% of my views from that video is from speedrun.com, so I think that's probably why. And I get like close to 100 views a day on it, versus that 200.6. It had a big spike like a couple months ago, but it's slowed down a lot since then. I think people aren't as interested in the randomizer anymore, or YouTube's algorithm isn't suggesting randomizer videos anymore, which would make sense because almost all of my randomizer videos have like lost, like, the average viewership got cut in half like a couple months ago, and it hasn't really like recovered since then. Either SotN randomizer, like, the appeal and like newness kind of wore off, or YouTube's algorithm decided that it's not going to promote the videos anymore, which I'm pretty sure it's the latter. I think the randomizer is awesome for most casuals as well. I think it helps bridge the gap between casually playing the game and like speedrunning the game for a lot of people, which is awesome. Fuck!
I'm interested in this.
This menu's hard.
Interested in this.
Yeah, OOT rando gets suggested a lot, but there's multiple reasons for that.
I'm interested in this. I'm interested in this.
There's a lot of, I guess, like, higher clout individuals who do OOT randomizers. OOT in general does really well on YouTube because nostalgia for it is like peaking right now. I think A Link to the Past, the nostalgia for that game has kind of peaked previously. So OOT is kind of like now like reaching middle of its peak for nostalgia. But yeah, at least that's just my theory. I could be wrong. I mean, OOT and Super Mario 64 have kind of always been hot. Now, fucking Super Mario 64 randomizer makes zero fucking sense to me. I don't get it. How do you randomize that game? Just the stars can be anywhere? Wow, that's so wacky and crazy and fun. I don't know, that's kind of weird to me.
Your work.
But I've actually never been a big fan of SM64.
I'm interested in this.
I'm a Super Mario Sunshine guy till the day I die, so I know it could be blasphemous in some circles.
I'm interested in.
Dude, what the I'm going too fast. That's why that menu got fucked up. Yeah, I mean, people regard Super Mario 64 for its, like, control and, like, level design and say that it's really good, but I don't know. I think it really hasn't aged very well. I would actually kind of be interested if that rumor of the remastered Super Mario games happens.
Thank you.
Just to actually play Super Mario 64 in a manner that doesn't feel awful,
I'm interested
in my opinion at least. Some people really like the controls for Super Mario 64. I really don't. Also, fuck the N64 controller. That shit sucks. Literal
I'm
garbage.
interested in.
Super Mario 64 has been remade? Yeah, but the DS doesn't count, dude. The DS doesn't even have fucking analog controls. Dude, Mario Kart 64, actually the best fucking Mario Kart game. Not a big fan of Double Dash, not a big fan of Mario Kart Wii. Actually, Mario Kart DS might be a close second, in my opinion. I really like Mario Kart DS as well. What the fuck does that mean, virtual N64 controller designed for Chernobyl kids? Yikes, dude. GoldenEye, psh, whatever, dude. You need two controllers to fucking have analog movement or analog aim in GoldenEye. Like, that's so dumb. I mean, Double Dash is fine for what it is. I just prefer 64. I think 64 just has way tighter controls and movement. Dude, CTR, you're talking to the #1 CTR apologist here, so I'm going to agree with you. Like, CTR is fucking dope as hell. In fact, I need to play CTR again. I have my copy somewhere. I will say the track design in CTR is just fucking really good. Well, you do need to apologize for CTR because it also has a lot of flaws. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I'm trying to think about what kind of real flaws there were. There weren't very many. Every time I shit-talk the N64 controller. Dude, the N64 controller is fucking ass. I'm sorry. I'm not a... Well, I am kind of a 360 controller apologist, because I think it's actually not that bad. The things that people complain about the 360 controller, I think, are the wrong things to complain about. Like, people like to complain about the D-pad not being very, I guess, like, firm, or whatever the fuck you want in a D-pad. I don't know, I think it's fine the way that it is. There are very few games that I've played using a 360 controller that I would prefer to play on a different controller. The only thing that I think it suffers in is 2D platformers, unless you like playing 2D platformers with the analog stick. It's not good for fighting games? That's just objectively incorrect. It's actually really good for fighting games. There's lots of really... the D-pad actually helps a lot with, like, DP motions if you prefer playing on pad versus playing on stick. Because the movement between the diagonals is very easy. I don't know, I always preferred playing on a 360 pad over PlayStation pad for fighting games, until I started playing on stick, that is. Like, when I learned Marvel 3, I learned on a 360 pad. Well, I guess it's all preference then at that point, but... Okay, I guess the argument that I'm trying to make is, because people are used to playing games with a D-pad, and the D-pads in the past have always been... People are used to SNES and PlayStation pads because that's just the standard like D-pad for the longest period of time. And then the 360 pad kind of has this like protrusion thing going on instead of the buttons being like indented into the controller, I guess. I don't know, I think it's fine. I would say DualShock 1 is probably the best designed controller for most things. But the issue is, when it comes to analog movement, I think the layout of the 360 controller is better. I guess the idea of using dual sticks when they're both so close to each other is just, I don't know, it's bad. A lot of people like DualShock 4. I think DualShock 4 is fine from what I've played with it. I don't really own one, but I'm definitely not an Xbox fanboy. Fun fact, I think fucking Microsoft and Xbox as a whole, as a company, is fucking stupid as hell. I just think the controller's fine. I'm not a fan of Xbox One controllers, though. They're fine, they get the job done, but I prefer a 360 controller. I guess everybody loves DS4. I mean, shit. DualShock 4 seems fine. Seems like a very fine controller. How about you stop being sick? Shit. Damn it, you're so right. I'm just gonna stop being sick. Wow, I'm literally cured. Bro, everybody's complaining about the fucking 360 D-pad. But nobody out here wants to complain about the fucking GameCube D-pad, like that wasn't the worst thing to ever exist. And don't get me wrong, GameCube controller is like top 3 controllers of all time, in my opinion. But that D-pad is fucking shit. Exactly, it's not even that bad, it's just kind of squishy, that's all. And having a squishier D-pad has its benefits. It's not like it's all bad. I think the Switch Pro controller is actually really good. The only thing that I don't like about it is it's the feel of their buttons. They're a little too raised, if that makes sense. I guess what I'm trying to say is the amount of force that it requires to push down the buttons is a little off for me, but that's about it. Like, for how high up they are, they're extremely sensitive. And I'm not a huge fan of the triggers, but that's about it. The triggers are a little too soft for my liking. And they're not analog, which is a problem, but whatever. 360 doesn't have a D-pad. They have a cross on top of the third analog stick. What the fuck do you mean, dude? Everybody's cool with mainly just spouting bullshit? Obviously, it was my bad for getting in this conversation with a bunch of intellectuals. Clearly, I'm outmatched. Bro, you're talking to somebody who's been speedrunning SotN for fucking almost 7 years now. 6 or 7 years, I don't remember the actual amount. Like, of course I'm gonna like the 360 pad. Like, if I didn't like this fucking pad, I wouldn't be playing this game. Stop. Don't you dare bring up Requiem. Like, that's an actual counter-argument to anything regarding SotN. The answer is we all play on Requiem, boys. Got him. Hell no. I'd rather chop my fingers off. I'm gonna fucking choke. I'll fucking choke this away on like a world record pace run. Most likely. An actual question for you, Dragon Blitz. When you use D-pad, how do you position your thumb on the D-pad? Do you slide your thumb around the outside of the pad, or do you rest your thumb on the center and rock whatever direction you want to go? That's a good question. I do the first one. I don't rest in the middle and like just kind of wiggle it. Also, it depends on what I'm doing, because I use both. This is weird to explain without my webcam, but I use both like the inner part of my thumb, like where the knuckle part of my thumb is. I use that to press down certain parts of the D-pad, and then I also use the tip of my thumb to press down other parts of the D-pad, depending on the kind of motion. Like if I want to do a quick left or right, I kind of like have my thumb press the left part with the knuckle part of my thumb, and then the right with the tip of my thumb. If that makes sense. But if I'm doing like a full circle motion, that's just using the tip of my thumb the entire time. Fun sub goal could be to learn the riff for Wandering Ghost actually on guitar and like play it on stream or something. That could be fun. Although I'd have to fucking get my fucking guitar setup working again. It is a very good riff, yeah. Oh, that reminds me, I had a dream that I learned how to play the trumpet. And it was really fucking pog, dude. Makes me low-key want to buy a trumpet. It was a lot of fun. I'm sure the tabs exist somewhere if I wanted to look it up. More of a sousaphone guy? Well, I actually played sousaphone, so... They're just hella expensive. There's no way I could afford my own sousaphone. Or contrabass, for that matter. Or any form of tuba. But yeah, I played tuba for 6 years, 7 years. In middle school and high school. Shit was dope! Yeah, French name. The Xbox One version is the same version as the 360 version. The only difference is because it's emulated, it has a slight bit of input delay. So there's a slight amount of input delay compared to the 360 version, but from my understanding, from what I've heard, is it's not very noticeable. But yeah, you should be good. Like, if you want to speedrun on the 360 or on the Xbox One version, you should be good. Yeah, this is my actual face. This is what I look like without makeup on. Yeah, that was just a deep fake of some other dude that looked kind of like me. This is my real face. What makes you think that Skrillex wasn't the one copying me, though? Think about it. Anyways. Oh god, muscle memory is hard to get rid of. I'm used to mashing the fucking start button, but I don't need to. Oh my god! The load times. Oh god, the load times. Okay. They're so much faster. Damn, why can't we do 360 rando already? Actually, why can't they just port the 360 version to PC so we can all just play on PC? That would be so good.
No, it cannot be.
If they ported the 360 version to PC, that would honestly be so amazing for the speedrunning scene. It would lower the barrier to entry so much. Plus, we could mod the game like way easier, I feel like. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. It'll never happen though. Sadly. But my PC sucks. Yeah, but... Oh shit, why did I grab that pot roast? Your PC won't always suck, and most likely running this game wouldn't be very memory intensive or anything like that. It should be able to run on budget PCs. Like, the 360 version isn't that crazy. I think it even, like, it's using the old Xbox Live arcade memory restrictions, so realistically it can't be that memory intensive. Like, I'm pretty sure most computers would be able to run the entire game just from RAM alone. Like, to be able to fit the entire game in their RAM. Because, like, what is it, 100 kilobytes or some shit like that? It's, like, really low. Can I get some damage stacks, please? Nope? Okay, that's cool. Who needs damage stacks when you could just fucking blade dash this idiot to death? If it wasn't for that fireball, I would have gotten all of them, too. I would have fucking zeroed to death that idiot. Hit him with the infinite combo. I mean, I enjoyed my time in, for my part of my music education. Like, in public school, it was a lot of fun. I never took private lessons or anything like that because my family couldn't afford it. But just playing in public school and stuff like that was a lot of fun. I was lucky that I went to schools that were decent when it came to like funding for the arts and stuff like that. So I was pretty lucky there. Like if I went to like an inner city school or something like that, most likely I wouldn't have the same experience. I think learning music was very beneficial to my brain development. But there's no way for me to know that personally, it's just a feeling that I have. Like, I don't know, there's just something very rewarding about learning an instrument and like getting better and having goals to progress towards, as well as like learning to read music was a lot of fun. Dude, I don't need to fucking reset on the poison, but it's like frustrating. I know, it's like much like learning a new language. Especially once you take music theory, like I was in AP music theory in high school and I enjoyed it a whole lot. I think I'm just being extra dumb today because I'm sick, so yeah, extra good runs is what we're dealing with. At least I'm like, what, 4 for 4 on bufferless death skip? That shit's so free. I would say for most everybody, once they start getting sub 8 clock rushes consistently, they should go for bufferless death skip. Because it really does help. Like, you save almost like 3 seconds on average, depending on how quickly you're able to buffer. And I feel like if you're buffering the trick in the first place, it's because like you need to, if that makes sense. And then that causes you to like slow yourself, check the frames, make sure the frames are correct, all that fun stuff. And that wastes a lot of time. Like the reason I started doing it bufferless is because I was doing the buffered method for so long that I wanted to like save as much time as possible. And you save more time, like being in the map for the shortest amount of time as possible. And I realized I wasn't even checking my position or anything like that, so using the map setup wasn't even worth it. Because I wasn't checking my positioning or anything like that, I was just YOLOing it. So I might as well like not even open the map in the first place. So I just, instead of pressing map, like pressing left and then map, I just pressed left and then the neutron bomb. With the same exact timing, and it just works. Well, this is also more of a thing for people who play on Xbox as well. Because Xbox, you have the huge advantage in the clock rush. Like, clock rush is so free on Xbox, it's absurd. Like, trying to get sub 8 on emulator was extremely difficult for me every time I've tried it. I don't think I've even gotten a sub 8 on emulator. Granted, I don't play on emulator very often. Especially because if I'm gonna speedrun, I might as well play on Xbox. Unless for whatever reason I can't play on my Xbox. Hey, got the floor clip, nice. Oh, I don't know if anybody in here follows or cares about Mario Maker 2 in specifically. Goddamn, words are hard. But that new update looks pretty cool. I might actually try that out tomorrow when it's live. Like, Mario Maker 2 is one of those games that I got really excited for and I wanted to play a lot of, and I played a lot of it at the beginning. But like, content curation in that game is so trash. Like, it's impossible to play good shit unless you already know where it is. The update is just like a bunch of new power-ups that are possible to add into the game. They added a new, like, design your own, like, game, essentially. Like, you can create your own, like, Super Mario World map. Oh my god, whatever. RIP world record. You add levels to it. That's like the big update, and then there's a lot of small stuff in between. They added a new power-up where you can play as Super Mario Bros. 2 Mario, which is really cool, in my opinion, because Super Mario Bros. 2 is like fucking dope-ass game. I feel like people are gonna crucify me for this, but never been interested in playing a Monster Hunter game in my life. I don't know, if I'm able to find some interesting like levels to play, I might consider streaming some Mario Maker 2 for the new update. But we'll see. Really? Well, I'm really looking for good RNG here, or else this was a waste of time. That'll work. Don't really lose any time for that. Ooh, nice crits. That definitely helps. Meh. Hello? Fucking CD room lag? God. Forgot about the CD room lag. Shit's so annoying. Hello? I guess I'm just bad at the game. Never mind. Can't even blame that on the CD room lag. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'll try and get a gold split here, but run's basically dead. Because my second castle gold split's pretty bad. Mostly because I don't finish bad runs most of the time. Well, that kind of puts a damper on things. Come on. I went for the gold, but it's over now. It's been a while since I've done this, though. Yeah, that was a bad fight. You have to jump and throw the stars at a very particular point in order to get him early. Also, hoping for crits helps. Crits can really help the shaft fight go by quite a bit faster. But like mashing when you have 2 stars out doesn't really matter too much. Like it might save you like 1 or 2 frames at most because of the way that you have to wait for stars to disappear.
Behold my true form!
Damn, not even sub 17.
Trouble the soul of my mother no more.
Feels bad.
How is it that I've been so defeated?
But yeah, super like grindy games without like a clear end goal is something that I have a really hard time dealing with. I don't know, it's very difficult for me to play games without like clear and defined goals. That actually goes into the issue that I have with Mario Maker in the first place, is because beating levels into it of itself doesn't feel like a very satisfying goal, since most levels are pretty meh, honestly. So I feel like having like an overall world system and like level system where you connect levels together might make that experience a little bit better. I feel like there's actual goals in beating levels back to back. Versus just like the random like Mario challenges where you play 99% fucking hot garbage levels that are terrible. So like having clear and defined goals is like, Monster Hunter does have a overarching story / main goal. Interesting. That's another reason why like I have a hard time playing like MMOs because the goals are so far disconnected from like gameplay, in my opinion. Well, not disconnected, it's just that the amount of time you have to wait in order to actually achieve goals is like absurdly long. Granted, my experience with MMOs is very limited, but the most experience I have with one is like RuneScape, and fucking RuneScape, holy shit, what a goddamn grinding ass video game. And I've heard RuneScape isn't even that bad compared to other MMOs. Like, I make the joke all the time to my brothers because they still play a lot, that the best part of playing RuneScape is not playing the game. Finding a way to fucking set up an auto-clicker, finding up a way to set up, like, some way to fucking have the game play for you so you don't have to actually play the game is the main way to play the fucking game. And that's fucking absurd. I know some people, yeah, speedrun Tutorial Island and shit like that. I think that's really cool. Like, making meme speedruns out of RuneScape is something I actually think is really cool. But I would never get back into playing RuneScape myself because of how grindy it is. Same goes for, like, so many other games. I think that's one of the reasons why, like, certain types of RPGs are, like, super snooze fest for me. You're telling, like, I can't play a fucking Pokemon game anymore because those shits are fucking boring as hell. Like, modern Pokemon games have EXP share on, and you're over-leveled, all of your Pokemon are fucking broken as hell for free, or turn EXP share off, and now you have to go grind for, like, absurd amounts of times to get your Pokemon on par with everybody else. There's, like, no in-between. There's no satisfying middle ground. The problem with doing challenges in RuneScape, though, is that you have to fucking grind in order to get, like, to a point where you can actually play things that are challenging. That's the thing, is getting to a point where you have to grind an absurd amount of, like, meaningless tasks in order to do the challenging part, I think is really fucking dumb. Granted, that might be a little hypocritical coming from the fact that I speedrun, and you could argue what I'm doing is the same exact thing. Pokemon is primarily aimed at kids, yeah. Like, the gameplay is not very interactive at all. And I think that's, like, a huge problem, is having non-interactive gameplay. I don't know. I'm a very picky gamer, I guess. YOLO. Would have been worth it for the meme. It's not like I'm doing super serious run attempts anyways. This is mostly for practice. Make some SotN-themed Mario Maker levels. Yo, so they added a new enemy, right? It's straight up a fucking Nova Skeleton. I swear to God. Somebody look up the Mario Maker update video from yesterday. They added one of the Koopalings, the blue one, that shoots a fucking giant beam across the screen. And the way that it charges up too is the same as the Nova Skeleton. I swear to God. They literally added Nova Skeletons into the game. That was all I can think of when I saw it. I was like, God damn, that's a goddamn Nova Skeleton. Shit, Iga should have just supported modding in Unreal 4 for Bloodstained. Yeah, I don't understand why that's not a thing. So Bloodstained doesn't have mod support at all? That's fucking lame, dude. You know what it is? I think they didn't want mod support because they didn't want people adding in the content that they were going to add, but better. Does that make sense? Like, we've been waiting for Zangetsu to come out. If mod support existed, Zangetsu, like, a fan-made Zangetsu mod would have already came out, like, months ago. Plus randomizer would be officially, like, supported and stuff like that. Like, they already have a randomizer. They have an unofficial randomizer. The Bloodstained Discord, I think, has a link to it, but it's like a unofficial private thing that's still in testing. We can already play Zangetsu, though, even though it's broken as hell. You're saying people have modded Zangetsu into the game? Or is there, like, a fucking glitch that I don't know about that lets you do that? Oh, you're the admin for the modding Discord. That explains a lot. Okay. Yeah, goddamn. See, exactly. If you guys had official mod support, that should be up and running, like, no problem. I don't know. That reminds me, I should replay Bloodstained at some point. See if a second playthrough will change my mind about the game. Because I really enjoyed my first playthrough. It was just kind of weird near the end. I don't know. I feel like they put a lot of shit into the game, but not a lot of it was very fun. Should play Bloodstained at some point. It's fun. It's like I'd give it like a B+ when it comes to just like a casual Metroidvania playthrough. Like very, very solid. Like very solid. Not S, not A, but B+. We were talking about Mario Maker 2 earlier. I know you must be excited for the new update. I'm actually kind of sad that they said that it was going to be the last major update, because I feel like that game, I don't know, it just lends itself to being updated regularly. Like, just all you have to do is add new shit to the game, and then people just make their own content out of it. But I imagine it must be pretty resource intensive for Nintendo, since they have to bug test a lot of that shit. Haven't been this excited since Super Mario Maker 1 came out. Nice. Yeah, I kind of wanted an excuse to play Mario Maker again, and I feel like this will help give me that excuse, I guess. Because it's a fun game. It's just, honestly, I'm hoping that the advent of people making their own worlds will kind of help curb my issue with the fact that there's not a whole lot of clear and defined goals in Mario Maker. So unless you're in the bigger Mario Maker community and like playing the inside levels, like the insider levels for the community, then you're kind of just like out of luck, I want to say, when it comes to playing fun shit. Like, if you don't know who the fun creators are, like, there's no way for you to ever find them. You're stuck just using, like, generic search functionality, which is mediocre at best. I feel like Big is not that good at making good boss fights, I feel like, because most of the boss fights in fucking Bloodstained were also, like, trash. Is it just me? But like most of the bosses were either like stupid pushovers that were way too easy, or like just not very fun to fight. Like the only boss that I think got any real attention put into it is the one that has the two heads that you fight while falling down the tower or whatever. I feel like that's the only boss that got any real attention put into it, and everything else was just kind of like, generic boss here. The boss before the final boss? Isn't that when you just fight what's her name? Like the female antagonist, that's the plot twist or whatever. Like, I feel like a lot of the bosses were just like, fight this generic humanoid that has the same AI as all the other bosses in the game, where you just jump behind them and then they turn around and do like the same attack, and then you jump behind them, turn around, do the same attack. Maybe that's just my fault, because I found all of the bosses to be heavily, like, AI manipulatable. Like, you did the same thing to every humanoid boss. You just went behind them, they did a slow turnaround animation, and they did the same attack. And then you would go behind them again, slow turnaround animation, do the same attack, and you just do that over and over and over again. Like, every boss that's, like, humanoid does the same thing. Damn, Glockum, you came to the wrong chat. I'm not a huge fan of Hollow Knight, personally. I understand why a lot of people like it. I just personally have a lot of flaws with the game that'll cause me to never finish the game, pretty much. But to be fair, I actually don't like most Metroidvanias. And I'm very consistent about that. So Ori, I've still yet to play. It's on my list of things to do, and since I've been in quarantine, I probably should play it. I have it downloaded too. I've just been lazy. I haven't played Ori 2 or Ori 1. I made a video explaining my thoughts on Hollow Knight a long time ago, but essentially, the game is amazing as far as like art design goes and sound design. Level design is okay. It gets the job done, but I'm not like the biggest fan of it. But the reason why I'm not the biggest fan of it is because the way that the movement and like combat mechanics are, they don't support the level design very much, and I'm also just not a big fan of the combat and movement mechanics. So even if the level design was better, it wouldn't help the fact that I don't like the way that it feels to move in that game, and I don't like the way that it feels to fight stuff in that game. That's like my biggest complaint, is that it's not fun to move around, and it's not fun to fight stuff. Like, the most fun that that game gives you as far as movement goes is you get a singular dash. And the dash is cool, and you can upgrade it and do cool stuff with it, but that's it. Everything else is very generic and pretty meh as far as movement goes. But that's just my opinion. I know other people enjoy like the game a lot more and think that its combat is fine. Or even good. I've heard a lot of people argue and say that the combat's really good. I personally don't see it, but I don't know, that's just me. But maybe I don't know what a Metroidvania with good combat actually looks like. Because most Metroidvanias that I enjoy are very movement heavy. And combat's usually like a secondary thing, like in SotN. I think pogoing is fine. I just don't 100% love the way that they have it in Hollow Knight. I feel like it's a little clunky, but that's just me. I think a lot of the movement is very clunky as well, but again, it's personal opinion stuff. I think Harmony of Dissonance has really good movement, but really terrible combat. That's the thing that like keeps it from being good for me. The combat in Harmony of Dissonance is fucking terrible, but the movement is very PogChamp. Oh my god. Oh wow! Okay. That's been a while since I've failed that. Oh, I will admit, I'll be the first to admit, SotN's combat is pretty dog shit. It's pretty bad. It's not balanced at all. I don't know. But I feel like SotN makes up for it in a lot of other ways. Oh yeah, soundtrack and visual design, character design in Hollow Knight is literally 10 out of 10. Like, it's so fucking good. I'm actually really excited for the sequel because I think the sequel could mitigate a lot of the issues I had as far as combat and movement goes, because the new character, I forget her name, looks really fun to control, so. Oh yeah, HOD, all the weapons do feel the same. That's the one thing that SotN really does have going for it as far as combat goes, is that you have combat variety at least when it comes to all the different weapons. And like figuring out all the different like specials and stuff you can do with them I think is really cool. Whereas Hollow Knight, I feel like combat was very limited because it was very much all you did was use your basic nail and a couple of spells. And like you had to upgrade your nail in order to actually like do shit realistically, so I don't know. Oh yeah, that's the one thing that I in the video that I talk about Hollow Knight, I give it a lot of credit for, is the fact that you have a lot of routing options in that game and they all work. Like, you can't softlock yourself by doing any sort of, like, sequence breaking in that game, really. Like, there's always a path forward. I'm pretty sure if you do some extreme glitches in Hollow Knight, you might be able to softlock yourself. But, like, there's always a clear path forward, and it's, like, rewarding every path that you take, which is good. So allowing for multiple paths in the mid-game, I think, is something that a lot of Metroidvanias don't do. Like, they essentially just allow you to, or their path is extremely linear, but it requires a lot of backtracking, so it feels like a Metroidvania with a lot of branching paths, but realistically there's only one real path, and you're just backtracking to get there. So Hollow Knight does get a lot of, like, points for doing that right. My biggest gripe is I just wish I had more fun playing the game. Like, that's it. Like, everything that the game has going for it is really, really good. I just genuinely wish for my own personal enjoyment that I enjoyed moving around as the main character and fighting stuff more. If I enjoyed those things, the game would have been a 10 out of 10 for me. It would have been perfect. Actually, that's not 100% true. Some of the bosses are straight up fucking horseshit. I'm gonna be honest. Some of the bosses are fucking terrible. The fucking, God, that one beetle fight where they just keep respawning, like, and you have to fight a bunch of respawning beetles. That fight is fucking horseshit. Fuck that fight, dude. This is just me being mad, so don't take it, like, seriously. But man, I was stuck on that fight for fucking, like, at least 3 days. Like, straight up 3 days where all I did was try and fucking finish that one fight. I was extremely underpowered too. Like, I didn't get any of the nail upgrades at that point. Like, I went to that area like very early on, so I didn't have a lot of spells. I didn't have like any real upgrades. It was just super fucking hard. Oh yeah, having a dash cancel could be really good too for Hollow Knight. It could help speed up the movement and make it more interesting. Or just have different ways to cancel your attack mid-animation. Yeah, I was extremely underleveled when I went there the first time, so... Oh, it's also extremely easy to get lost in Hollow Knight. That's one of the other things that I complain about a lot. Is that its map system doesn't really help players out. It basically, I think, does the same thing that SotN does when it comes to, like, giving you direction. It says, fuck you, figure it out on your own. And that's my biggest complaint about SotN as well for a casual playthrough, is if you don't know where to go next, you're really fucking screwed. Because SotN does not give a fuck. It gives you 0 hints. It says, figure it out, bitch. People enjoying Hollow Knight is always a good thing, because it gives more people interest in the Metroidvania genre. Which I think has a lot of issues right now. Like, people developing for Metroidvanias, I feel like they don't know what the fuck to do. So I'm hoping that with games like Ori and Hollow Knight, like a lot more interest can be brought to the genre, and it could actually like start innovating more, as opposed to being so derivative of SotN and Metroid, Super Metroid. Because I feel like that's the biggest thing holding it back right now, is because the genre is literally defined by SotN and Super Metroid, people don't really like innovating. I feel like it's just rehashing the same shit over and over again. And when they do rehash it, they don't even rehash the good parts. Like, what the fuck? Why has nobody made anything movement-wise that feels as good as SotN's bad? Like, SotN's movement is fucking 10 out of 10 S tier, triple S tier, like super fucking good. And nobody's made a game even close to comparing. Like, what the fuck's up with that? Why is nobody making games with good movement? Granted, I can't speak for Ori. People tell me Ori's movement's really good. But I've never played the game, so I don't know. Yeah, I think the genre definition being so tied to the landmark games that created it, the quote-unquote created the genre or defined the genre, I think is very bad for Metroidvanias in general. The fact that it's called Metroidvania makes it, like, super bad, in my opinion. But Souls games are basically 3D Metroidvanias, and honestly, that's my biggest comparison to Metroidvanias right now. I think the Souls genre is doing a better job at innovating Metroidvanias than anything else right now. If this game ever got a PC port, maybe we could do fun shit like that. Like actually add in a boss rush mode or something. There's probably a way to add a boss rush mode right now, from what we know about the game, but I doubt it would ever happen. No fun allowed? Hell yeah, that's what SotN's all about. I've never had fun playing this game. Yeah, if they ported the 360 version to PC, dude, it's so over. SotN speedrunning would fucking blow up, I swear to God. Konami would make so much money, too, I don't understand. The sad part is, if they ever ported it to PC, it's just gonna be the fucking Requiem version. Because fuck you, everybody play the PSP version because we paid for these new voice actors. You're gonna fucking listen to them. Gross. Everybody hates the new voice actors, dude. Yeah, if I had a fucking one wish... Well, actually, I'd probably use it for a more utilitarian purpose if I had just a singular wish. But if I had two wishes, outside of creating a utopian state for all of humankind, it would probably be next SotN PC port. Those are my priorities, in that order. That could be true. I don't know. It's so weird that they, like, stealth ported SotN to the fucking mobile phones. Like, the mobile port for SotN just fucking happened. There was no announcement, no nothing. It just fucking happened, which is weird. I don't get Konami, dude. I don't fucking get it. You could mod it to have the original text and audio, but that's not the point, for me at least. The point that I have for it becoming standard for PC is the fact that it would be I would want it to be the 360 arcade version. So that way everybody could just speedrun on the PC version because it would be extremely accessible at that point, versus people having to own a 360 or an Xbox One in order to speedrun at the highest level for this game, which is highly inaccessible, unfortunately, because not everybody owns a 360, not everybody wants to buy a 360 just to play SotN. Because realistically, that's what my 360 is for, is it's just a SotN box at this point. But I'm lucky that I already had one. But the problem is that fucking Konami's in love with the Requiem version for whatever fucking reason. Probably due to legal reasons, probably due to the voice acting most likely. I'm pretty sure the original voice actors would have to get like royalties for this version if this version was sold, but I don't know. There's probably legal reasons that I wouldn't be able to know. I just want accessibility for SotN. Ooh, for my third wish, if I had a third wish, outside of a world utopian state and then porting the 360 version of SotN to PC, would be a full-on sequel to Castlevania HD. Or maybe like a remastered version for PC, where it includes all the old DLC and all the characters, but then adds more chapters and more items and more characters to play as. Oh, also better netcode, because the fucking netcode is garbage in that game. So a full-on like remaster with like added shit would be really cool. Because Castlevania HD was so close to being like, really, CVHD was your intro to speedrunning? That's awesome. Yeah, because CVHD kind of like lent itself to speedrunning in the first place. Because the whole point of that game was to like grind for specific gear. So like you and your friends just like basically fought the same bosses over and over and over again, go through the levels over and over and over again. And people found glitches specifically to help go through the levels faster and stuff like that. It was honestly really, really cool. The short period of time that I was grinding for stuff in CDHD, I had a lot of fun. Just learning all the speedrun tricks and stuff like that. Oh yeah, doing corner boosts in CDHD is so fun. Do people still play CDHD? I was in a Discord with people that were playing for a while, but that Discord's been very inactive for a long time. I'm sure there are people that still play it, but the player base is probably really small. Cool. CD room lag. That's unfortunate. So there's a random or pseudo-random chance that the rooms, the CD rooms, just have you like drop some inputs because this game is fucking good. It only exists on the 360 version too. I've been doing alright. I'm a little sick, justly, but I'm hanging in there. It's nothing crazy. Like, it's just a sore throat for right now.
Go back
Lost
whence you came.
3 seconds?
Trouble the soul of my mother no more.
Still sub 17 somehow. Dude, I'm telling you guys, sub 17's so free. Look at
Is
that.
it that I've been so
That was a
defeated?
terrible run. Yeah, I'm trying to go so fast so I can outrun the Rona. Damn it, I should have made my own fucking speedrunning marathon and call it Outrun the Rona 2020. That would have been a funny name for a speedrun marathon. Tell me you guys wouldn't want to watch that. Come on, GDQ. Corona relief done quick? More like Outrun the Rona 2020. I'm telling you, I'm an ideas man. I come up with the best ideas. $2 million idea right there. Dude, fuck that Spittlebone. That Spittlebone is hyper aggressive today. I might have to move around my save slots so that way he could fucking fuck off with that shit. Actually, now that I think about it, is there an SNES core for BizHawk or no? Because I wonder if we could actually make a Super Metroid SotN like multi-world rando thing. That would actually be fucking hype as hell. Because fuck Link to the Past, that game's boring. That's right, I said it. I said it. Link to the Past is a boring ass video game. There is, yeah? Bro, we gotta do it. Super Metroid X SotN fucking multi-world rando. Somebody work on it. We could call it Metroidvania. Bro. Oh, we could call it Super Castlevania, actually. That could be a good name for it. Super Castlevania? Because it's Super Metroid and Castlevania. I think that would help clear up any confusion, honestly. I mean, realistically, it would just probably be like shortened to SMX SotN or something like that. The dumbest part of it would be playing Super Metroid with a fucking 360 controller, honestly. I would need, like, player 2 to be my fucking Super Nintendo controller and switch controllers between games. Because hell no, I'm not playing fucking Super Metroid with a goddamn PlayStation controller or Xbox controller either. Or would we put the warps between the two games? It's a good question. I mean, we could use the SotN warps. We could use red doors. Like certain red doors can just take you to Super Metroid.